Welcome back to another video. Unless this is your first video, then welcome to your first video. Hope you enjoy your stay. I'm King. This is my royal place. Take your shoes off, get comfortable, and let's have a chat. Let's talk. Sit back, grab a snack. Welcome to the family kickback. Intro. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Anyways, I don't know what. Once again, I need to stop just mentioning things that I'm gonna decide in the future. I don't know why you'd be even bothered to mention it, but I don't know what this title of the video is gonna be. But a couple of things I didn't mention in my last video that I feel like I need to bring up. I feel like I should just bring up. I don't know if I would make a whole video on it. Traits of myself that I see in other people, whether they be fictional or not, they're real or not. I feel like I can look at anybody, not really idolize them, don't put them on a pedestal, but see traits, good and bad, and see if they apply to myself and if they can apply to myself. And if it's a bad one, try to cut it out, try to realize, oh, this is something I also do. Let me try to resolve this. And if it's a good trait that I feel like I don't do enough of, or just don't do in general, then I'll try to incorporate that in my life and try to start incorporating that train of thought to get that into my head to make it just a subconscious action. Like, let's say I didn't open the door for people before and I saw somebody, I'm like, oh, this is a good trait that I don't do, let me try to pick it up. Maybe a couple times I miss it, but then I start thinking, open door, hold it, let them in. I started creating it that way. Obviously I've been doing that, but if that's just a generic, simple example. But a trait that I feel like I don't have a strong showing enough yet is dependability. And I'm really just talking about, now granted, whenever I talk about myself and then when I talk about other people, it's a whole different scale. I said in my last video, but I'm super harsh. I said my tolerance of bullshit to myself, to other people, is drastically different. I'm a lot more accepting and patient when it comes to other people, but with myself, hard as fuck. Because when I was a child, I felt like I wasn't pushed hard enough, or there wasn't enough commitment to something that I felt like I could have took off in, like a sport like volleyball, soccer, maybe basketball, but soccer, football, or volleyball, I could have took off and been a fucking insane athlete in my opinion. I feel like if I had, granted, there's probably a lot of people that do say this, they don't actually have the physical capabilities, but I feel like with my stature, how I am, I'm 6'1". I'm pretty lanky. I have a pretty decent physical shape. But I've always been kind of like malnourished, and I never took my training or anything serious. Well, for various amount of reasons. But once again, I feel like I never had that push. So growing up with the sports and just everything after that, I tried to be super hard on myself to be that driving force for myself, to not depend on somebody else to motivate me. But the problem also is I was waiting for myself to get motivated, and I wasn't persistent, I wasn't consistent, I didn't make those habits within myself. And the habits I did have were lazy habits that weren't gonna further me in my life, and that was a problem. I've always realized I was kind of hypocritical, or like contradicting in a lot of the way I was thinking and how I acted, and also just parallel thinking and parallel actions, two separate. Whether I have two parallel thoughts and they contradict one another, or if I do something and they do two actions contradict. It's I guess imagine four squares, and sometimes lines interconnect and sometimes they don't. Imagine that. But yeah, I realize that a lot of my problems stem from me overthinking and me procrastinating and me just waiting for that motivation. And that's not how things happen. That's not how progress is made. You have to work hard. Whether or not you want to do it, you have to put in the hours. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the energy. Otherwise, shit's just not going to work out. And you could hear this all the time. People could say it, and you can know this, but it comes down to the person actually applying whatever they may have heard. And sometimes the hardest part, because with me personally, dealing with mental battles, mental war that I've gone through, that I go through, not having that, it's a difference, because physical energy, there's different types of energies. I'm not gonna get into this because a lot of people may not agree. Actually, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Energies, I don't know all of them. There's a lot, but there's spiritual energy, physical energy, just mental energy, emotional energy. That's some blue ass tit. God damn. The energy I'm referring to for that I feel like I lack is that mental, emotional energy. Physical, kind of, I feel drained, but I feel like I still have. It's hard to explain sometimes. I feel like I still have energy to move and be physical, but yet I feel drained to the point where I feel like I have there's no possible way for me to actually do things besides try to survive, besides try to fight off whatever I'm trying to fight off. And which usually what I'm trying to fight off is something that takes up a lot of my energy. But also the problem that I've been doing for so long, that I feel like the habit that I really formed with myself is I was stuck on just trying to survive, just trying to get through the day, just trying to not succumb to the inner demons, essentially. And I felt like that was the job that took up 24/7. Like, I never asked for it, I never applied for the job. Granted, maybe I kind of wished for it as a child, in terms of always. A little quick thing. As a child, I always wanted to be the one to. It's weird to talk about. I always wanted to be the one to take people's pain, trauma, etc., etc. And I always, for whatever reason, I remember this actually a lot, doing this a lot, or thinking this a lot, constantly being like, if I could take on the world's pain, if I could take on the world's trauma, agony, and people can be absolved from it, and we can just grow, I would gladly take that pain in exchange for my own life, for humanity to grow, to be better, to save the world, to just be better. But moving on from that, you don't talk about that. I feel like the habit was not, from not just trying to survive. I need to thrive. I need to prosper. I need to start working on myself to not sabotage myself. Because just trying to survive, it's contradicting at the same time. What I said before, because I have big aspirations, big dreams, but I'm waiting for the motivation. And if I'm just trying to survive, the motivation to get to this point, I'm not gonna get that all the time, especially when I have the lack of energy. The key thing that I've realized and that I'm starting to do, that I will start doing, not even just I'll start tomorrow, that I'm starting today, that I'm starting right now, that I started a couple minutes ago, I started a couple seconds ago, is to stop procrastinating. Actually, if you wonder why I'm looking down, sometimes I just look around, but actually, this is what the producer wrote for this TV show. Welcome to the camera. If you look to your left, look to your right, it's actually cameras. What's up, guys? Welcome. Say hi to the audience. I'm honestly not gonna lie, I took that little break because I forgot what I was saying. Fuck, I had that point, I just lost it. it's procrastinating, taking action. Stop trying to survive. The hardest part is to not think, at least for me. A lot of people are like straight-minded, play-minded. I think that's the same. Straightforward. A lot of people are straightforward, narrow-minded, can focus on one goal. But when you're somebody that thinks a lot or can get distracted pretty easily, things like that can be pretty hard. And when you're waiting for something, but when it's not gonna come, that's the hardest part. I feel like I've had too many contradicting things of wanting to achieve a lot, waiting for that energy to come, but that energy not coming because of the restrictions that I've had, and me not realizing that just because I'm surviving, just because I get through the day, I'm not gonna surpass what is blocking me. For me to pass that, I need to get stronger, and then test that ability to test that blockade to see if it's still restricting me as much. Obviously, as if you want to look at it as a story, as like say anime, the main character goes through a struggle. There's a blockade, but there's a point where you're hit so much, where you're at the bottom so much, where you're on your back so much. You have to on the ground. You have to. The only way forward, the only way to go is up. Is to keep going. You can give up. That's an option, but nothing after that. And all the hard work that you may have done to get you up to that, to all the survival that you had to do will be for nothing. And it's a hard dichotomy to work through, because sometimes you feel like it's not worth it, sometimes you feel like it is, sometimes you want to wait for something, sometimes you just want that extra help, but that's just not gonna happen. You have to do it yourself. You have to be consistent. If you're consistent with yourself, you don't need to wait on anything else. You don't need to depend on anything else. Opportunities that you may have had to wait for, you can create now because of the bullshit you went through, the strength you had to create for yourself to get through the restrictions that you had on yourself that were super hard beginning. Maybe they're still hard, but they're infrequent. I don't know. This is just me talking from inexperience. Maybe the experience is different and you're able to deal with it easier or easier. You just have more avenues to divert that negative energy, and it's not just all crushing yourself. I want to be the best person I can be for myself. It's for selfish reason, obviously. I to be best for myself and my friends, my family, anybody that I work with. And if I'm able to be the best version of myself, the most confident, the most supportive, the most nurturing, the most supportive already. I don't know, the most someone can listen to, someone feel like they can respect and trust. If I can be that person, I can help. I can achieve what I want to achieve, and this is really coming down to knowing what you want, knowing who you want to be in the future, and then taking steps to be that, not getting lost in the big picture, but I guess being able to see the strokes that made the art, the keys, the late nights, the hours, the stress that was put in to make the music, to make the sound that you love, to make the visual that you love, to make whatever. Like, there's more to it than just putting something out and just being done with it. There's been hours, there's been training, there's been dedication. Like, that's what the problem is, I realize these things, I know these things. I wasn't like oblivious to what I needed to do. It's just really making that action. And I guess what's kind of maybe helped me put into this is I've been okay with, it's been another long video. I've been okay with dying, passing, if any moment I'm ready to go, if any moment I'm accepting of death, am I okay with the life I live, with just surviving, with just getting through the day, and to not trying to be the best person I can be, to be the most comfortable person, to do things that I won't regret, to do things that I won't look back on and be like, damn, I wish I didn't do that, I wish I did do that. To do things that not that I feel I should do, but doing things that I know I should do, and that I know that would put my mind at ease. Maybe I made a bad decision, but if I at the time I knew this is what I should do, not that I feel like I should do for somebody or for whatever, but if this is the best decision, best course of action, that I feel like I trust in myself because of my mental capabilities, I know I'm not going to make some stupid, irrational decision. This is something that I've thought through. It really depends on the people. It depends on the person, obviously, but I'm just talking about me. I need to trust in myself, because hesitation will kill me. And it will kill me in a way that I will not want. And I don't want to, I guess the one thing I don't want with everything, with my life, is for someone to look at it, or for me to look at it and to be, oh, I gave up, I stopped at one point. If I would have kept going with my dreams, my ambitions, I would have done everything I could. But if I'm doing everything I can now, and I'm taking steps, and I'm not slacking off, and I'm being the best person I can be day in and day out, whether or not it's a major shift or it's a minor shift, or if it's an invisible shift, something like things build up over time. And with the life I want to live, I can't let the days, the hard work, the days I had no energy, but I still somehow survived, I can't let those days be for nothing. Because if I'm going through some bullshit, whether or not to some people it may not be, whatever, but to me, if I'm going through some bullshit and it's hard times, if I'm not gonna find my happiness, what the fuck am I doing this for? What am I doing what am I working, what have I been working for? It's a lot. There's a lot to get into, there's a lot to talk about, it's a lot. But these are the steps, these are the progressions, these are the days that make us, the days that will make me. I'm a lot different from how I was 2 years ago. I'm a lot different from how I was 1, 3, 4 years ago. I'm hoping to be a different person a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. If I'm still alive, 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Hoping to always be different, always evolve, always be a better person. I'm not going to be some super tight-knit, watch what I say all the time. I'm just going to be authentic. I'm going to be me, but who I am. But I know who I am. I know what I want to be. And that's the thing. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you want. Honestly, I'm not complete. I will have different perspectives. I will grow. Maybe what I think I want now won't be what I want in the future. But I need to do things that will help myself now and help myself in the future, rather than just trying to stay afloat. I need to start swimming. Instead of just crawling, I need to start walking. Instead of just floating, levitating, I need to start flying. Change needs to happen with me. I need to, if I'm stuck in a cycle, that's what hell is for me. That's me re-entering hell. That's the gates. That's trial 1 of hell for me. Stage 1. Stage 1 of hell for me. But end of the video. Peace, love, positivity. Anybody that's watching, anybody that's good spirited, live your life. Hope you prosper. Going through this life. Hope we keep getting better. At some point, I'm gonna figure out what's the right thing to say. But love.